very important to us to keep good environmental quality, the water, the air that we breathe here, everything. I live 50 feet from my barns. I'm here all the time.
If we don't take care of what's feeding us, how can we survive? So I think it's important for all of us to take care of the environment, not only from a perspective of milking cows and taking care of the manure, but it's living off that environment, but also, I mean, people around you, you're affecting these people around you.
We're here to serve that farmer, to serve that landowner. And those are the folks that are stepping up to the environmental challenges we have today. We're a supporting role. And what I want people to understand, what the consumer to take a look at, is that our farmers are putting the best management practices on the land, they're using the latest technology available, and we're there to assist them anytime.
It's important for every dairy farmer, regardless of size, to really treat the environment to the best of their ability. We spend a lot of time on manure because manure is a major part of these operations. Because we have a large animal livestock permit, we're required to have storage for all of our waste for up to between 6 and 8 months throughout the year. Through the winter periods, we're not allowed to spread manure anywhere. So we store that manure in these lagoons. And we have rules and capacities about how full we're allowed to get those lagoons and when we can actually start hauling.
We always check the moisture of the soil before we start applying any manure, because the drier the land is, the more it can soak up nutrients and moisture. We also have to work the ground sometimes so that it will soak in when we're applying a lagoon manure, because we don't want anything filtering through the wormholes and going down into a tile also. We apply liquid manure usually in the fall of the year when we pump a lagoon, and that we try to incorporate in or make sure we have a cover crop there so there's something to soak that liquid manure up.
Because we're putting manure on these fields, we test the fields every 2 years or every 3 years, and we've actually considered in some of these fields going to once a year depending on when we put manure and where we put manure on the fields, just so we can look at the ground before and after we plant. Is this going to produce the crop we want, or is it going to be healthy for that corn plant? Because if we don't have a good healthy corn plant, we're not going to have a good healthy cow.
We're constantly trying to do our best to be environmentally responsible, good stewards of the land. We put in a wetlands here. It was a spot that just naturally laid low, was always wet. We do have ducks on it from time to time. The purpose of the wetlands was to filter water and nutrients that might be coming off of the land. The nutrients are very valuable, especially the phosphorus, and it's a very high dollar item to have to bring back onto the farm, so we want to save and keep them here. This is a wheat plant that we're using for cover crop in this field. It's a good thick stand. It keeps sucking the nutrients out of the soil that we had put here in the fall before it was planted, and it's great for erosion control, having a good green thick cover like this growing and not bare ground all winter long. We plant grass all along our filter strips along both sides of the creek. There's a 35 to a 50-foot grass buffer on both sides of the creek, and this past 2 years we've had 200-foot wide strips added to just give that much more control of the water and nutrients.
Certainly the challenges that all livestock farmers face is the environment. You know, that's the number one issue with many of our consumers. And what we're doing here at USDA, and specifically the Farm Service Agency, and with our partners at the Natural Resources Conservation Service and the Soil and Water Conservation Districts, is to help those folks put the best technology available, put the best management practices on the land, so that they can do the best job of being environmental stewards.
The local Soil and Water Office has been very helpful in giving us advice on what best management practices to try to install, which ones are working well, and then they also come out and evaluate them after we have started using them.
The Ohio Department of Agriculture comes in twice a year, just about our manure handling and practices, but then they also respond to any time a neighbor or a citizen driving down the road has a concern or complaint. They'll physically come out here and check on the situation and then just make contact with us and review our current operations.
It's very important for us to have resources like that and education and new ideas. We're constantly reading what are they doing in another county? What are they doing in another state? And is it something that we could use here? And that's what farming is all about.